Hello, you're watching Campus France Live. Thanks a lot to be there with us today to talk about higher education in France and to discover NEOMA Business School, a good business school here in France. We are going to talk about two things in NEOMA. First, the global BBA, a program bachelor that you can follow, and you're going to know more in a few minutes about it. And we're going to talk about the way NEOMA Business School integrates its students in the school and in the different campuses, because there are many campuses at NEOMA. To talk about all these subjects, I'm very pleased to welcome you, Karolina Burka. Hello.
Hello, Guillaume.
Thanks a lot to be there with us today. You're head of the Hub Welcome and Administrative Center. And we are also with Maria Homsi. Hello.
Hello.
You're a student in the Global BBA. So first of all, Karolina, can you tell us a few words about your mission, the Hub Welcome and Administrative Center, and maybe what you do for international students?
With pleasure. So I'm in charge of the Hub and Welcome and Administrative Center in Rouen in particular. It's the welcome desk. We do a lot of administrative work for the students, but also I'm in charge of welcoming international students on our 3 campuses, Rouen, Reims, and Paris. So I have a super team of 7 people just dedicated to welcoming international students at NEOMA.
And what does it mean concretely, welcoming international students from D1 and maybe D-10 when they're doing the visa? It's all these steps that you're helping the students with?
As soon as the students are admitted, we contact them, and then we have a full welcome campaign that starts in April, mid-April, where we just bombard them with very useful information. We organize virtual cafes. We'll get into that later, I think, but we do a lot. We really try to prepare them so that they arrive prepared, peaceful, and just ready to learn.
Ready to learn, ready to work, and it's important for the international student watching us today. Ask the school you want to join, and maybe it's NEOMA that you're going to join, but ask the school what it will do concretely for you. Maria, hello again, Global BBA student. Can you tell us a few words about you, where you're from, and what you did before joining the Global BBA?
Hello, of course. So I'm a Lebanese student. I graduated from Greece. And I'm in my first year of my Global BBA studies. Previously, I have been in France before because I actually was in a medical school and I decided to change majors. And so I decided to join NEOMA and join the business field.
And we are going to know more about your experience at NEOMA. From medical school to NEOMA, that's really interesting. That was a decision to change what you were learning. Medicine wasn't for you?
No, it really wasn't for me. I loved the major, of course, but the career just wasn't for me. And I decided that I was more interested in the business world rather than the medical one.
And are you going to try to use the business word that you're learning to work maybe in the medical field, or are you going to completely change your point of view?
It was one of my projects. One of my plans actually to use the knowledge that I've gained from medical school to maybe apply it in a healthcare world in the business domain, but we'll see.
You still have time, and we're going to talk about that. Karolina, can you tell us a few words about NEOMA Business School? Really good ranks in the different magazines. It's why I can say as a journalist that it's a good business school. Can you tell us a few words about NEOMA?
I would say it's a great business school. That's my point of view. Yes, NEOMA is a very old French business school. We are over 150 years old, in fact, and yet we're very innovative. So equally international. Over 70% of our faculty members are international. 25% of our students are international. We've got programs in English, fully English. We are really looking to expand this international side of our school. We are triple accredited. We've got the EQUIS, AMBA, and the AACSB accreditations that everyone knows about. And we also have the triple star Bienvenue en France label by Campus France. So we're very proud of that. What else can I say?
3 campuses, but we're going to say more about the campuses in a few words. But maybe to know more and to get to know NEOMA, we can watch a little video, and we will be back just after that. So that's a very good way to discover the school and the campuses. 3 campuses, where are they located?
So we've got the latest campus, the modern, very modern one in Paris in the 13th district. We also have a campus in Reims, about in 45 minutes by train in the Champagne region. And my campus, which is in Rouen, it's in Normandy, very famous as well, just over an hour from Paris by train.
In which campus are you studying, Maria?
I'm in the Paris campus.
Okay, how would you describe? Is it the campus that we really see in this photo or not? This is the campus from France. This one, Rouen, and we maybe have Paris somewhere. We will see another picture from Paris. How would you describe this campus, this Parisian campus? Where is it located?
So it's located in the 13th district of Paris, which is a very lively district. I haven't been to the other campuses, but from what I've seen pictures, Paris is the most modern campus. It's the smallest as well, because Paris is a very chaotic city, so it's a small campus, but it's modern, it has updated technology, and it's a very, very beautiful campus.
And in this one, yeah, there's something really French, cultural. That's really beautiful to see from the outside, and I imagine also from the inside. For the global BBA, Karolina, are the different courses, and even for the different program of NEOMA, what are the different languages that you can follow the courses?
Courses, depending on the program, French and or English, but the GBBA in particular is offered entirely in English if needed.
And if the students want, they can have courses to learn French, because it's important for their professional career if they want to stay in France to know a little bit of French.
Absolutely. We've got French classes, just grammar, regular language. We have courses towards finding jobs in France or the cultural, discovering France, etc.
And let's imagine that I'm an international non-French speaker student. I want to study in NEOMA. What are the different programs from the undergraduate to the master programs that I can follow 100% in English?
The GBB is definitely one of them. And it's a great program because it's very general. So no matter where you start from, we will teach you the basics of management and you would go from there.
And then in the different master programs, they can also find the English programs.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of them are taught in English, yes.
So it's possible for them to do all their studies at NEOMA. Maria, you have an international background from Lebanon, Greece. Why did you choose to study in France, and why did you choose especially NEOMA Business School?
Well, to begin with France, I took it as an advantage because I already speak French, so I didn't find the language barrier a problem. So that was an advantage for me because I also had friends and family that were present in France. I also did research about the educational level of all the universities in France, and it was really, really good compared to other universities. I wanted to also stay in Europe to be close to my family. So that's why I picked France. As to why I picked NEOMA, it was because of its academic excellence. It was known and it's triple accredited, which is very rare among universities. I also have seen posts and I follow the NEOMA page and everything, and I saw how vibrant the student life is. And I read about the multiple, so we have an exchange program. So we really have opportunities to explore the international world and the international opportunities. And it's something that I would be really interested in. So that was why I chose NEOMA.
We're going now to talk about the different resources for international students that NEOMA offer and will offer you if you decide to study in this school. We know that it's complicated to change the country, maybe to leave the family for the first time, to go to another country. What are the different resources that you offer to your students to help them with all the different steps to arrive to France?
So, as I said, we have a team really dedicated to this activity, to helping international students arrive in France and to accompany them. We created a website. We've put ourselves in the shoes of the students, and we've organized their arrival in 8 different steps. We made a website about it. We put all that information there, and then regularly we'd contact the students. So now it's time to get your visa. Now it's time to register. Now it's time to look for housing, and then we help them find housing. We also have a housing platform. Well, we really try to prepare each step of the way so that their arrival is very smooth when they actually reach. And then we've got other things happening as they're here with us.
One of the most complicated, and we have to be honest about that step, is the administrative procedure for the visa. It's sometimes something that the student is really afraid of. How do you help them with these administrative procedures?
So people in my team are experts in visas, titres de séjour, residence permits as well in France, and we've got contacts at the Campus France locations abroad, at the préfecture once they're here. We know the procedure inside and out. We try to advise them, help them, and even if there's issues with the visa, we try to help them resolve them so that when they ask for the visa again, things go better. So, and other procedures as well. Once they arrive, there's the opening of the bank account, getting insurance, health insurance with the French national health insurance system. We organize a forum at their arrival, and we invite all our partners to come and facilitate these things for the students.
Do you offer housing on the different campuses? Do you have big places where students can live, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we don't have our own residences, but we work with the cruise residences, the subsidized residences in Rouen and Reims. So we have allotted rooms for our international students. And so there's a housing application where students apply, and then we can give them a room in one of those residences. And aside from that, for our Parisian students, we have a housing platform with Studapart, where students go and they basically reserve whatever they wish to: apartment, studio, shared housing with the elderly, family home, things like that. They have all these options on our housing platform.
You, Maria, what solution did you choose? Are you living with other students? Are you living alone? What did you decide to do?
So I picked an apartment. I actually didn't have any other choice because I was way too late to the search of the apartments. So that's why I just had to find an apartment, because I also had different criteria. So I wanted it to be in a good area, close to the university, specific requirements for the apartment. And I found one through family friends. And that is how I just moved in directly.
Karolina, how much does it cost to study at NEOMA Business School?
If we're talking in particular about the GBBA, it's just over 12,000 euros.
And do you offer different helps to help students finance the global BBA?
Of course, there's several different NEOMA scholarships that we can give out to students. We also have partnerships with banks for loans, and we do what we can to help out with that too.
There is a very important moment. It's when the students arrive in France and discover the school, discover the campuses. It's a key point for them. Do you have activities that you offer? Do you organize maybe some events to help them integrate? How does it work?
So we have, well, the big event is our International Welcome Day. That's organized several times throughout the year, depending on the arrival of the students, on all three of our campuses. And it's a big event. In Paris, they're lucky because the fun activity is doing a bateau mouche. And in Rouen and Reims, we work with very motivated students, French students who are in student clubs dedicated to international students, and they help us organize these days they're gigantic. In Rouen and Reims, we have over 400 students participating at once. So it's a very vibrant mood, and there's a lot of information going out, but a lot of fun and a lot of networking, meeting people, and it's just a wonderful atmosphere.
What advice do you have for the people watching us today who want to join NEOMA to have a successful move to France?
I would say follow the steps, follow the advice that we give. Try not to be late with reserving your room. Just as soon as you get an email, get interested, research where you want to live, how you want to live, your budget as well, and try to get prepared. But follow our advice, follow the steps that we outline. I think that will be fine.
Maria, did you have some fears before leaving your country or leaving Greece to study in France and leaving maybe your family? What were your fears?
Yeah, so my main fear was leaving my family because I had already experienced living abroad. So I was scared of started to live independently, and I also had like troubles. For example, even grocery shopping, I had to call my mom to help me. So I that was my main fear. But other than that, I think I was used a bit to the international life, so I didn't really have any big worry other than that. And maybe the language barrier, because I know the accent, because I have a Lebanese accent and it's pretty obvious. And so I thought that this might clash when talking to Parisians, but it was a very smooth.
And the integration did well for you?
Sorry?
The integration was well for you?
Yeah, it was very smooth. I didn't have any major problems or anything, and I got used to it pretty quickly.
Let's talk more about the global BBA, the program we're going to focus today. In a few words, Karolina, can you explain what is the global BBA? It's a 4-year bachelor's degree.
Exactly, for your bachelor degree. It's a very general bachelor with focused on management and all the basics: economics, finance, human resources, etc. It has a grade de licence, so it's recognized by the French government. That's very important.
That's important for the international students watching us, because there are plenty of schools they can join in France, but it's important to have the grade de licence because it means that the bachelor is recognized by the state, by the Ministry of Higher Education.
Exactly, yeah, very important, thank you. Also, it has a very strong international and professional approach. So there's the exchange, the international exchange. There's up to 3 internship opportunities, and it's fully taught in English as well. What else could I say? It's, as I said, very general, and in the 4th year, it narrows down. So throughout the first 3 years, you find out what your interests are, and in the 4th year, you decide on a specialization.
How would you describe the teaching methods? Are they more focused on theoretical to get knowledge and to get to know a lot of stuff about different subjects, or is it more practical or with a link with companies? How would you describe the teaching methods?
I would say 50-50. It's a really nice mix of both theoretical teaching, but also practical case studies and seminars. And we have a lot of professionals coming to the school as well, getting in touch with the students and showing them what the working world is all about.
Maria, what are the different subjects that you already have had the opportunity to follow in the Global BBA, the different classes that you're following?
So I had financial accounting, financial analysis, marketing, statistics, entrepreneurship and management, and really just very interesting courses, economics as well, and yeah.
And from all these subjects, what is your favorite one?
My favorite has been economics and marketing as well. So economics, because I could easily relate the topics to real life situations, and I didn't have any troubles really when I started the course, and I haven't done economics prior in my school years. So it was a very interesting course. And marketing, I really liked it because it kind of leans on to the more creative side, and it's something that I'm interested in and I might consider for my career path later.
So that's interesting, and maybe that's the idea of the Global BBA, having a very generalistic approach at the beginning and then maybe specialize at the end to know where we are going to study after or where we are going to work.
Exactly, yes. So we have 4 specializations in the last year. There's the associative track, which is working with student unions. There's the apprenticeship track that's catered to French-speaking students. We've got the entrepreneurship track as well, where students work on creating a startup. And then the master track, which leads students to their graduate studies. And over 70% of our students do the graduate track to continue on doing a master's degree. And I'd just like to add that the Global BBA, as all of our programs, is created around the principles of sustainability, CSR, and the green transition. So NEOMA has put a lot of effort into injecting that kind of content into its programs, classes, and other activities.
Why?
Why? It's very important. It's one of our principles, and it's in our strategy. That's where we're heading. We have no choice in the end, but it's a beautiful approach.
Is it possible to do an academic exchange during the Global BBA?
Absolutely, yes. 2nd year. You're going to see that next year. Students can do either 1 semester, 6 months, or a full year abroad on exchange.
And you're going to Rotterdam.
Yeah, to the Netherlands.
How are you expecting this exchange to be, and what are you waiting from this exchange?
So I really want to explore the culture there. I've never been to the Netherlands before, so I'm excited to see how it is living there. I've heard that Rotterdam has a really good student life. There's so many international students, and I already know some friends there that told me about living in the Netherlands. But I'm excited to see for myself how that's going to be like, and maybe compare it to, maybe consider it later on. We never know.
So we have talked a lot about the different program, what we study, but one other important thing is student life. How would you describe the life as a student at NEOMA in Paris?
So specifically on the Paris campus, I would say the student life is very, very lively. So we have multiple associations at NEOMA, like fashion associations, sports associations, music, really anything. Of course, on the Paris campus, since there are less students because it's the new campus, we have less associations than on the other campuses. But however, because we're in Paris, there's so many things to do. You're never bored in Paris. Especially in the 13th district, there's so many good food places, especially. So you can really and it's also the NEOMA is next to it's in the center of the 13th district. So there's really so many things to see, like even during breaks to go have a break with your friends, have lunch or something. It's very, very fun in general.
And Karolina, we can imagine that this student life is really not related only to the Parisian campus, but also in Rouen, Reims, there is a spirit. We can see them with the summer, they are all laying on the sun, that the idea having good time, but
Yes.
having good time studying too.
Yes, very important. But I have to admit that the student life, the student associations are very numerous, very vibrant. And there's close to 100 student unions at NEOMA. And regularly we hear about the major events that they organize in our schools, outside of the schools. There's a challenge coming up. It's a gigantic event. And yes, it's very important. Over 2,500 students are involved actually in at least one of these student unions.
Let's talk more about the professional world inside and after the global BBA. How many internship periods is it possible to follow during the program?
There's 3 internship opportunities in the 4 years at the GBBA. So,
did you already have had the opportunity to follow an internship? Are you looking for one? How are you with it?
So I'm actively looking for one for the summer. It's a 3-month internship, and I'm looking through different websites. NEOMA also helps you finding internships. You can go to the Talent and Career Center or just email the university, and they have multiple networking sites or just networking opportunities that help you connect with either previous alumni or just partner companies, for example, that will help you find internships.
Because you have a network of companies that are used to having students coming from NEOMA for internship or more.
definitely. We have over 400 corporate partners that attend our fairs virtually or on our campuses. So yes, there's quite a lot to choose from.
And do you have examples of internship that students completed in the global BBA?
In the global BA, which is so global and so diverse, the examples are far and wide. So there's anything from human resources management, finance, economics, in any of those fields, sales, marketing, communications. It's really wide.
Maria was talking about career center. It's interesting because when you're in first year, for instance, you don't have a lot of experience to put in your resume. So how do you help them to find these opportunities? How do you make them coming from high school students to professional?
We have our Talent and Career Center, as Maria mentioned, that organizes webinars, individual appointments. They also organize classes teaching students how to write a CV, how to prepare the interviews, how to look for internships as well. We have numerous websites, including the Job Teaser platform. There's events that are organized as well for the students to motivate them, to help them in their search for internships, for job placements. So that I know there's a lot of work that goes into this. The team is composed of 40 people, so you put a lot of effort into it. Yes, so that helps.
How does it go for the students after graduating from the global BBA? What are the different options? Do they work directly or can they continue studying? How does it work?
According to our statistics, it takes them about a month to find a job after graduating from the GBBA. And they enter various sectors. One of the main ones is commercial, sales, export, but they'll also go into marketing, communications, finance, economics, etc.
So they have a lot of choices. You were talking about the idea maybe to work in the medical industry, but I imagine that studying and getting to know more and more knowledge about different subjects is making you maybe having your ideas for your future career.
Yeah, of course. So the healthcare part wasn't really a main idea or like my main focus. It was just maybe a consideration on the side. Right now, I would like to focus more on the marketing or maybe the financial aspect in a creative field, like the luxury field, for example. But of course, we never know. I might change my mind later on. But for now, these are like my main interests, and I would say the main things that I'm looking for, even in an internship right now, to just gain experience and know more about every certain sector.
And you have the opportunity, we were talking a bit about the student life with the student association to complete your appétence, your love for the luxury and fashion world. Do you have an association dedicated to this subject in NEOMA?
Yeah, so there's actually the Fashion Association where they're actually organizing a fashion show in the end of March. And so there's several, you can be in charge of basically planning the fashion show, the photography, the modeling aspect, designing the clothes. And I joined this association because it was kind of like it's a different thing, and especially like in a business school, so it's nice to be able to focus on two things, two different aspects, and combine them with one main interest.
And that may be the idea for the student life, is getting to know what you like, what your passion are, and it's even better if you can make from your passion your future job.
Absolutely, you said it all, Guillaume. Yeah.
Let's conclude with the admission. That's the most important part, how to join NEOMA. The dates, first of all, Karolina, is it still possible to apply? Still well?
Yes, definitely. Please apply. So our application's open from September till the end of June. You submit an online application. You submit all the documents we expect that should be scanned in English or in French. Then you do a deferred interview. It's very interesting. And 2 weeks after the interview, you have your admission.
How did your interview go, Maria? What were the different questions that you were asked?
It was a very smooth interview. So they asked me basically to present myself, to talk about my international experience, why I would be a suitable student for the university, why I chose NEOMA. And at the end, they asked me what my favorite book was. And that's all I could remember. But it was basically just to introduce yourself and why you want specifically a global BBA from NEOMA.
Karolina, what would be your advice to have a successful admission process?
I would advise potential applicants to really take advantage of all the resources we give them. The international admissions team is big. We offer one-on-one appointments. We organize webinars as well to kind of introduce the program and to present to you the application, how it goes. And I know that we give a lot of information to these potential students. So I think if they just take advantage of all of that, they just impregnate themselves with the information, and obviously be yourself. No, Maria?
And do you have an ideal international candidate, or how would you describe it?
Outstanding, motivated, passionate, everything.
Let's now go to the conclusion. What would be, Maria, your last advice for the people watching us today who want to join NEOMA Business School?
So I would tell them to not stress about it at all, because at NEOMA you're always going to be feeling very comfortable. You're going to be surrounded with all the services that you might need. As for housing, start looking early, as soon as possible, for apartments, and to just really just enjoy the experience and the opportunity to be able to study in France at NEOMA specifically, and to just not stress about it at all.
And Karolina, maybe to conclude, you can give the details of the I have it under my eyes. After the global BBA, they can work wherever they want. That's something important to tell them.
Absolutely, as it's such a global and encompassing program, the career options are far and wide. So we've got everything from Google, AXA, LVMH, Air France, Deutsche Bank. Our students have gone to work in some major firms in the world, but also to start their own startups. So the options are endless.
Thanks a lot, Karolina, Burka, and Maria Homsi. Thanks to you for having been with us today.
Thank you very much, Guillaume.
And thank you for having watched us. If you still have questions, or if you maybe want to begin your admission process at NEOMA Business School, you can visit the website of NEOMA. See you soon on Campus France Live.